everyone, and welcome to For Your Junk Journal. I'm Deanna and I'm super excited for this tutorial video today because not only do I have a tutorial for you, but I also have a freebie. So the tutorial we'll be doing today will be on my Falling in Love folio that you can find on my Etsy store. Everything I talk about in today's video, whether it be supplies or the digital files, I'll list down below for you guys so you can easily get a hold of them. So this one's just my prototype, so we will be putting that together today. I may add in like a few little ribbon and lace just because I want to be able to decorate it once we're done putting it together. And those I plan on having put into those. But this is the freebie. This one is kind of like a steampunk / love romance type of vibe here. So what we got going on. So of course, like I said, just digital files on these. I've added in some stuff. So this one's already partway decorated. So a little tie, a little stuff on the edge there. And it's the same case scenario. It's the love that goes down. Now, both of these kits come with, little pockets, tickets, tags. And for the most part, they can be put anywhere where they fit on the page. So there's not going to be like a dedicated, hey, put this pocket here. Because really and truly, you guys just put it wherever you want. I know when I get files, digital files, sometimes I usually will change up where I put stuff anyways. So I kind of wanted to give you the freedom of where to put things. So these are just some tickets and tags. Then right here I added in, let me get a little closer for you guys. I cut this piece out right here and added in some charms, some ribbon. This is actually part of like an old necklace. And then I ripped a pocket in half, added some ink, some eyelets, this is some wire, floral wire right there. A little ticket I made up, another one I ripped, inked, and stitched, and then I stamped the back like that. I'm still working on decorating it, so not all the pages are done, but we got the pull-out note there, and it is different than this one. And then my last page, which is my next project after filming this. A couple tags, and tickets, and all the good stuff. So for this tutorial, a couple things. So the files come as PNG files that you can use for Cricut or PDF files. So the PDF ones, it's super easy. It'll be on a Google Drive for you for the freebie. You'll have to, you'll get them once you purchase this one. Afterwards, now, those files the PDF you can just open and print, of course. Now, for the PNGs, the ones that are Cricut ready, there's going to be 4, and I'll put an image on the screen. I just don't happen to have one in front of me right now. There's 4 little squares, and those 4 little squares need to stay there, especially for the auto resizing, because if you auto resize, it adjusts the sizes of the papers, like the letters might be a different size, the pages might be a different size, the pockets might be a different size. So leave those squares there. And then auto resize because they will help make sure everything stays the right size. I know some people like to delete them afterwards. I've had good and bad luck with it. I stopped deleting it because one time I did it and I felt like everything was off. I don't know if, I know for a fact my cuts were off. So I don't know if I did it at the wrong time and I just wasn't paying attention. I don't know. But as long as it takes to get everything ready, I don't want to sit there and have to do it all over again. So just a note on that. Now, as for the supplies that you guys are going to need, you're going to want some kind of glue. I know people aren't a huge fan of fabric tack, but this is what I'll be using for a majority of this video. Let's see. For cutting out the letters are super small. Well, they're a little harder to cut out, especially like the E. So, if I know I've seen some really talented people with their scissors, they could probably get it done. But if not, just something nice and sharp that you guys can cut around those letters. Then I use Ranger's Archival ink and Dark Roast. Little ink blotters. I like these ones for the little letters. You're going to want a scoreboard, probably something, a bone folder. And then I will be adding in, during this tutorial, I want to make sure I'm able to proceed forward with decorating, and so I'll be adding in a couple things during this, and yeah. So let me get everything ready and we will start scoring. So go ahead, get your guys' stuff cut, and I'll meet you back here in just a minute. Okay, so I've gone through, I've inked where I can. I know inking the letters can get really hard and messy, but I wouldn't fret it because you're going to be putting over a letter over it so you won't see it. So let's go ahead and get scoring here. I know this project's a little late. I got super obsessed with it though. When I was designing it, it was hard to keep, what do you call it? Do real life stuff. I was having so much fun with it. But yeah, so the each one will have their score marks on there, their lines. So, and then I'll have to finish inking once I get this stuff done. I don't do any more inking to the actual pages, just to the letters or anywhere I probably missed, because that's what I do. Let's see here. And this one, I know some of my kits are harder to see the score lines. This one is super easy. So just score your pages, and the 2 notes is all you have to score. Pretty close to done here. I was saying I got super distracted when making these. I was having so much fun. So these are coming out later. I think like Valentine's Day is like a week away, but I feel like this is very lovey, romancy, so it's not necessarily just Valentine's Day. But I feel like it's, you know, you see that more during the Valentine's seasons. So I'm going to start, now for the most part this is very basic and easy, but I'm going to start with the L's. Now, let me get my scoreboard out of the way here, because the folding on here is the only part that can get a little tricky, because even though, you know, I measured them out, they're identical in size, they can get cattywampus a little bit. And let me show you guys. So this one I was able to get pretty close when I was folding, but this one, for whatever reason, I don't know what I did here, but you can kind of see the spine's a little bit off. It will still work regardless of if the spine's just a tiny bit off. So don't fret too much on it, but just try your best to try to keep everything in line. So I start with the 2 L's. I go from the front and then I go to the back, and I kind of glue everything in between. So make sure your lines on top match. Like that. So these 2 will glue together just like that. And see, even my line is just a tiny bit off. It's just what it does. It will be fine. So I'm going to start with the L here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm trying to use up the last of this fabric tack here. So let's see. All right. So adding in my glue. Now if there's any embellishments or decor that you need to add in to the page, like how I did the on the Steampunk one, there is the clock handle. Make sure you guys add that in prior to gluing. And then I got a little close here, but I do like to keep it further away from the edge, so that way when it's opening and closing and you start adding stuff to the pockets, because these are only going to get so big, it's like a no-sew journal, so it's not going to, you don't want it to pull that glue apart. So a little close. I'll try to do better next time. But I just lay it on top. Make sure everything squares up. And I like the fabric tack for this part versus my art glitter glue, because there's more, you can move it easier. You can line things up after you put the glue down and move it. Where the art glitter glue, if you put it on and you push it down, it does not like to move. So I think I forgot to mention that the paper I use is, let me show you. So for this one I used, nope, yeah, I didn't use this one. So I'm trying to use up the last of this. This is the GeoFun double-sided matte photo paper, 200 GSM. It's got beautiful color. The other one I use regularly is the double matte sided photo paper, Koala brand 48, and this is not sponsored, these are just the ones I like to go to. So 48 pound, 180 GSM. And for my little notes here, These guys right here, that's 32 pound, it's crooked, huh? 32 pound 100 GSM is what I use that on that one. So that is what I use for my printing. I will put it down inside of the description box so you guys can check them out. It's an Amazon influencer link. So just so you know. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the back. So we will get our E here and our E. We're going to fold this. Okay, so we will do an E to E. Oh, forgot I'm trying to use this one up. So just remember to try not to go all the way to the back. I usually leave like 1/4 of an inch or so away from the edge on just the, would be the spine side. So I tend to overglue on everything. Just what I do. I've had things come apart in the past and it drives me insane when they do. I don't know. I feel like it was a lesson that I learned. And now it makes me overdo the ink. There's nothing worse than things falling apart when you are working with it after it's all, you know, been completed. I've had ribbon come off. Oh, drives me insane. So this one, see, that one's a little bit better. I don't know what it is. I think it's just like where you fold, where you put your score marks. Can throw it off a little bit, but don't fret, it will be fine. So now we're going to move on to the O and the V. Doesn't matter which one you do next, whichever direction you want to go with that. I think I'll probably do the O. So a tiny bit more glue, like I'm not going to overglue. Let's try. Let's see. Make sure to get your letters really good. So you'll notice I didn't actually score the spine, and that is because we're going to roll that spine. And I'll show you what I mean by that here in just a minute. Make sure everything lines up. And you kind of want to check both sides because sometimes one side will be off and you can't tell. So there is that. Now we will do our V to V. Told you guys this is the hardest part on this one. I think is going to be the cutting out. So I'm thankful to have someone had gave me a Cricut, maybe like, I don't know, 6 months, a year ago or so. And because I get tremors in my hand, so it makes it really hard to, sorry, my glue's not wanting to come out. It makes it really hard sometimes to trim things, especially when there's a lot of detail. Oh, I just realized mine's off here. When there's a lot of detail, it does tend to get off. I just noticed my O was a little off. Oh well. It is what it is. Okay, back to this one. So yeah, she gave me her Cricut machine and it's made such a difference. It makes me, I don't feel so much like it's a chore anymore, especially if anyone of you guys have to deal with tremors in your hands. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you don't have one, and you do this a lot, you may want to put that on your Christmas list for next year. So that way you can add it into this because it makes it so much, I don't know. I like it. Now, it does, you know, sometimes it does get sad because part of it back in the day when I would do this, the fun part is sitting there and getting everything cut out and it's just relaxing. But then another part of me is like, wow, this makes it so much easier. So there we go. We have everything glued together. And for the most part, this one stayed pretty straight. You can kind of see. Let me make sure you guys can see. I have to stand up, so if you hear my chair. So everything should line up nice and square. Okay. So now we are going to go on to the, let's do the letters. And then we'll do the spine, because we'll have to sit and let the spine dry for a few minutes. So I have separated the letters out. You'll be able to tell which ones are the reverse and which ones are not. So try to keep those separate so you know. This is where I use, let me put something in between because I'm notorious for making a mess here. So, and you want to keep this kind of easy on the glue, Deanna, because you don't want it to squirt out, because you don't want your pages to stick together. I've had things stick together in the past, and there's nothing more annoying than trying to go back to it and you're like, oh, well, now it's glued together. So just make sure to check the lines, make sure there's nothing peeking out through you. If you guys cut this by hand, you guys can always go in and trim up what might be hanging off. You know how when you're cutting, nothing's ever perfect. Even with the Cricut machine, nothing's ever perfect, but so far so good here. So just go through, glue on each one of your letters. All right. So letters are done. Make sure there's no excess glue. Gonna glue your pages together. Okay. So I'm afraid of putting the spine on now just because I don't want the letters to stick together. I call it trauma from the past. So I'm gonna add in a couple of the pockets. Now all of these ones can go wherever you want. Just remember there is a size issue. So, you know, like that. I don't know where this goes here. No. There. There. Maybe there. Okay. And then this one is going to go there. This is the only one that, I mean, you can put it wherever you want, but we're going to make this a pocket that pulls down. So that one's going to go there. I think I'm going to put the belly band right here. Like that. Put this over here. Yep. And then I'll put the notes here. And then this one here. I know it's very limited on where you can put them because of the size. So the Freebie actually has more pockets because I got overzealous when I was making them. So instead of like just letting them sit in cyberspace doing nothing, I went ahead and added it in there. So I'm gonna start with the belly band. None of these have gussets, so I'm just gonna add a tiny bit of glue to the top and a tiny bit of glue to the bottom. You can center it, you can kind of keep it off to the side if you want to. So for the pockets, because there is no gussets, a lot of times I won't glue one side. So I will glue this side, can you see? I will glue this side, and I'll leave this side open. So I take it, flip it, and just put a very thin line of glue right along the edge. I didn't add gussets because this will get bulky fast, and I didn't want it to be too full. So that's why I did that. Make sure it's square. There we go. And then this page, same case scenario, I'll leave this side open. So I'll glue here and along here. So I'll flip, add some glue. Just like that. Okay. So we let that dry for a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting these folded. So this one you're gonna have to do a tiny bit of trimming on, just because you know when you fold paper and then it adds length to it. So I find it easier just to fold. So I'm gonna take it, here's the design. So if I look at it this way, it's facing me. Fold it in half, and then you're gonna fold it in half again. And then I take the bottom here and just trim off a little bit. And then re-ink my glue up. I'm actually going to ink all the way up so I get all my creases. All right, one more. So same case scenario, you're going to fold it in half. Did I already do this one? I feel like I already did it. Folding very easy. I don't think I did though. And then at the bottom you'll see there's just a tiny bit that hangs out. Trim that off. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and glue the spine on, and then we will glue these on afterwards. These have had a second to hopefully dry enough to not glue closed. Feel free to give your guys extra time. So let me grab my spine here. So for this, you're just going to roll the spine. You're not going to actually fold it. So I kind of take it and don't push it all the way closed. Just kind of bring those pieces together like you're making a little O like that. The other thing I like to do is you can take it to the corner of your table and roll it around the edge of a table. So that might work for you too. So that is that. You're gonna want, oh, I forgot to tell you guys, are probably gonna want some clips for this. I'll go just like that. There we go. Okay. All right, so for this, doesn't matter which way you start, but I like to put a little bit of glue just towards the top here. Then I take the side I'll be working on, doesn't matter which side, they both are identical. And then I just put a little glue on here as well, but I keep it further down because I don't know where the edge is going to meet. I don't want it to go into the spine. So the goal is to keep this clear from glue. So now I'm going to add a little glue on this side. Just like that. Fold it over. Okay, so it will look like this. Let me make sure you guys can see it here. I'll have it sticking out just a wee bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry before I put on the covers because I don't want it to pop off on me. But I just want to double check, make sure. Yeah. So this will cover that line on this side, and this will cover that side, just like that. Okay. Now to let this dry. Okay, so this should be dry at this point. I'll set these aside. So if you are going to add any kind of ribbon or any kind of tie to it, now is the time to get your stuff. So I am just cutting a piece here. It is going to measure about 7 inches, a little tiny bit over 7 inches. So this will be my closure. Oh, let's try again, Deanna. And this, I'm not sure on the size because I will just add it as I'm going. So 2 ties. And the edge, if you aren't adding any kind of ribbon or closure, you can skip this part. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this somewhat closed like that. So at this point, I'm going to use my fabric tack. Fabri-tack. Did I say it wrong? I make up my own words as I go. It's kind of like a me and my mom thing. When we don't know the tool name or whatever the case may be, we will just make it up. So you might catch me doing that sometimes, so I apologize. So this I actually got at Michael's. I'm not sure if it's going to be too chonky. We will see. I was actually looking for something a little bit darker, more burgundy or wine color, and I didn't have very good luck finding anything color-wise that I like. It was just kind of not the right shade. So, oh, actually, I'm jumping the gun here. I want to measure where that is going to start and stop. So I just make sure the edges are square. And then I take a little pencil and just make a tiny mark on both sides. So that way I know where the lines will be. And then I will add some glue. So on this one, I put my ribbon underneath this. So I would have glued this first. This one I'm gonna glue on the outside just because I keep catching it. I don't know. I do both ways. It just depends on what the ribbon's like. So like that. Actually, I think I'm gonna go back inside. I don't like it. I don't like it that way. So I just leave a little bit there. Just like that. Make sure everything looks good. Beautimous. All right, let's see how this lays down, because this might be, like I said, it's going to be chunky. So I always like to go over my ribbon again, just to add a little support. I don't get too close to the edge, or I try not to, because this will seep out. And then the rest of the glue, so this is the front, right? Make sure you're gluing the right one. So front, that will be this one. I like to glue this piece versus the actual piece onto glue this side, I should say, because you can make sure you stay within your lines. All right, wish me luck. Hopefully this is not too pushed out. Beautiful. So I did get a little glue seepage here. I like to wipe it off before I move forward. Okay. Now for the back side, since I will be putting the ribbon underneath, I'll go ahead and add that, or the closure. I'll go ahead and add that now. All right, so the only envelope we have left, or pocket, I'm sorry, it's gonna be this one. I'm gonna do some little decorating on it, so it's why I haven't glued it, but I'm just gonna show you guys, and maybe once I'm done I will show you what I do. But I just glue, I do like a straight line and then glue right on top. I don't glue the sides. Let me make sure you guys can see. So kind of do just a straight line across here, if I can do it in the camera, and just a little extra glue right on top, and that way it sits like this. So you can do, take a pull down pocket. It's got a little key, little lock, and then a ticket. It slides up just like that. And then the last thing I didn't add in was, I'm gonna put on this page, it's the 4 notes, or 2 notes, I'm sorry. So you're gonna fold it in half like this. So fold it in half, then fold it, Jiminy Crickets, let's start over. So fold this in half, fold it in half, and you have the image right on top. You're just gonna flip it over and glue that side. Of course, you're gonna wanna figure out where you want it first. So I think I'm gonna do like this. And then down here like that. I'll show you. So you got your image. It's already folded. You flip it over and just add some glue. I like to keep them folded out more than in. And this was like my prototype. This is actually a repeat pocket I printed double-sided and I decided not to use. But see how it folds right there? So these ones are good. This one, no bueno. So just like that. So these will start laying flat once you have it closed for a while. Just show you guys here. This one's been closed. Okay, so that is it for this tutorial video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy your freebie. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think, if you like it, if you don't like it. I think I've said this before, but everything can be found down in the comments. Or I'm sorry, not the comments, in the description box if you're interested in any of this stuff. And you guys have a fantastic day, and thanks for hanging out with me. Bye.